Hello students, welcome to another class of physics. Before starting with our formal studies in our class, let us perform some activities which I have done for you. Just have a look over them. Let's look at an activity. I am using a plastic spoon, some bits of paper and a cloth here. This plastic spoon, when I bring it close to the bits of paper, we see that there is no interaction between the plastic spoon and the bits of paper. But let's see what happens when I rub the spoon with the cloth. Now when I bring it close to the bits of paper are in a very hurry to stick towards the spoon. They are rushingly sticking to the spoon, which shows that there is some force of attraction between the bits of paper and the spoon. This force of attraction between the bits of paper and the spoon is electrostatic force of attraction, and this has generated because we have rubbed the spoon with the cloth. Due to this rubbing of spoon with the cloth, some charges have appeared on the spoon, which is able to pull the bits of paper towards itself. Let's see another very common activity, a very playful activity. I am bringing one object very close to the other object and see that the objects stick to each other. Yes, you are right in guessing that these are magnets. Now let us see what happens when I take some other object. Now the same object, the second object which was kept on the tabletop has been changed. Now let's see what happens. Oh, it is running away. It is running away from this. But if I bring a small piece of iron close to it, then let's see what happens. I am bringing a small pin close to it, and let's see, this pin gets stuck to this object. So this object is also a magnet, but since this magnet is getting repelled by this magnet, it is getting away from this magnet. It means that these magnets should be of like poles. That is why they are repelling each other. Whereas this magnet and this magnet must be unlike poles. That is why they are attracting each other. Let's see another very common activity, a very playful activity. I am bringing one object very close to the other object and see that the objects stick to each other. Yes, you are right in guessing that these are magnets. Now let us see what happens when I take some other object. Now the same object, the second object which was kept on the tabletop has been changed. Now let's see what happens. Oh, it is running away. It is running away from this. But if I bring a small piece of iron close to it, then let's see what happens. I am bringing a small pin close to it, and let's see, this pin gets stuck to this object. So this object is also a magnet, but since this magnet is getting repelled by this magnet, it is getting away from this magnet. It means that these magnets should be of like poles. That is why they are repelling each other. Whereas this magnet and this magnet must be unlike poles. That is why they are attracting each other. Welcome back to the class. I know that all of you are very inquisitive and want to learn more and more in science. To quench your thirst, I have some brief outline of what we are all talking about non-contact forces. See, the basic idea of non-contact forces is that whenever two objects interact from at a distance, it means that there is some change brought about in the space by either one of the object or both the objects. See, suppose we talk about a charge. If there is some charge kept at some place and there is some field or some region modified by the charge, we call such a region as electric field. And if any other charge comes in that region, it experiences either attractive force or repulsive force. So this is the basic idea of non-contact forces, which are also known as field forces. The idea was given by Michael Faraday that the region around an object is modified. Now, coming to the basic root of the concept, see, the entire universe, observable universe that we see, it is made up of two entities. One of them is called matter and the other one is energy. Plus, I have written some question marks. What are these question marks? These question marks is the void that we see around. When you look at the space in the night or even in the morning also, we see that the more we look at the space, we find that the space is covered with voids. In between the stars, in between the planets, there are a lot of empty spaces which scientists have not yet been able to discover that what are they. Some of them have claimed them to be dry, dark matter, or some say that this is a part of dark energy, or sometimes we also say that dark energy and dark matter, they have an interconversion between each other. So that is not our concern. We are confining ourselves to two entities of matter, two entities of universe. One is matter and the other one is energy. Let us talk about the entity called matter. Matter has two natural or intrinsic properties. One property of matter is that it has mass. The other intrinsic property of matter is that it has charge. You might learn about them in coming days, but just a glimpse of it. Charge, when we say all the matter is made up of atoms, that I have already told you before in some previous lectures. All the matter is made up of atoms, and atoms are further made up of charged particles called electrons and protons. So coming back, matter has two intrinsic properties. One is mass and the other one is charge. Now the interaction of mass with other masses leads to the force of gravitation. I am repeating once again. The interaction of mass with other masses gives rise to a force called gravitation, and it is a non-contact force. Gravitation is always attractive in nature. According to Newton, every object in this universe attracts every other object with some force called the force of gravitation. For example, if I am holding this marker and if this is a board, both of the objects, they are matter, they have mass. So both the objects are attracting each other with a force of gravitation. Although the force is very small, but this force only is able to hold the entire universe together. This is known as the weak force, but it is that force which holds the entire universe also together. Other intrinsic property of matter is charge. Charges which are present inside the atom, these charges may be transferred to some other bodies. For example, this is a marker and this marker also has some electrons and protons inside it. Now when I rub this marker with suppose a woolen object, the electrons get transferred from one object to another because they gain energy due to friction. Now when the electrons are transferred and suppose I hold the marker stationary, then these stationary charges have some electric field around them, and in this electric field some other charge or some uncharged object, when it enters, it experiences some force. That force is called electrostatic force. So charges at rest, they constitute a branch called electrostatics, in which we learn about the field created by the charge and the interaction of one charge with other charged object or uncharged object. Then if the charge comes in a straight line direction motion, if the charge is moving in a straight line path with some constant speed, then it makes current. Current is a common term, but you will learn about current in 10th standard. I am not going into depth of it. In this class, we were to familiarize ourselves with electrostatic force, so I took this one. Then another condition can be that the charges may be moving with a non-uniform speed, or the charges may be moving in some circular direction, or the charges may be moving in a spiral manner, or by changing their direction in some or the other way. So whenever there is motion of charge with change in speed or direction of motion, then it constitutes magnetism. Magnetism, we have seen that there are magnets which have different poles and all, but all the magnets are made up of matter only, and matter, all the charges which are present in the matter, they only, when they move with non-uniform manner, with non-uniform speed, non-uniform direction, then they make magnetism. And magnetism also, whenever there is some magnetism in some matter, it creates a magnetic field around it, and whenever an object which has magnetic properties is brought close to it, it is either attracted by the magnet or it is repelled by the magnet. So this is about magnetism and its effects. So looking back on the non-contact forces, the first one that we talked about was gravitation, which appears due to mass of the objects, and it is always attractive in nature, and it is a weaker force as compared to electrostatic and magnetic force. But remind you, it is the force which binds the entire universe. Along with that, the force of gravitation between us and the earth, or any object and the earth, is also known as gravity. Next, in non-contact forces, there is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force is both attractive and repulsive in nature. Whenever there are two like charges, two positive charges brought close to each other, they repel each other. And whenever two negative charges brought close to each other, they also repel each other. But if the charges are opposite in nature, they will attract each other. So it shows both attraction and repulsion, and this I have just now explained. Coming to magnetic force also shows both attraction and repulsion. Normally a magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. These poles are those points where usually we find the strength of a magnet to be maximum. These two poles, they can never be separated. How large we are able to cut the magnet? Suppose we have a north pole and a south pole in a bar magnet. If we cut the magnet from center, then again we find a north pole and south pole created automatically in the magnet. So it is not possible to separate the poles of a magnet. And here also, like poles, they repel each other, and unlike poles, attract each other. For example, north pole and south pole will attract each other, and north pole and north pole will repel each other.